Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the DBCORP Limited Q2 and H1 FY23 earnings conference call. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star, then 0 on your touch-tone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. We have with us today the senior management team of DBCORP Limited, Mr. Pawan Agarwal, Deputy Managing Director, Mr. Girish Agarwal, Non-Executive Director, Mr. P.G. Mishra, Group CFO, Mr. Mushtaq Ali, Vice President, Mr. Lalit Jain, AVP, and Mr. Prasun Kumar Pandey, Head Investor and Media Relations, who will represent DBCORP Limited on the call. The management will be sharing the key operating and financial highlights for the quarter ended September 30, 2022, followed by question and answer session. Please note that some of the statements made in today's discussion may be forward-looking in nature and may involve risk and uncertainties. Documents relating to the company's financial performance have already been emailed to you and are available on the website of the stock exchanges and the company's investor section. Trust you have been able to go through the same. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Pawan Agarwal. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, and a very good evening to everyone, and thank you for joining the Q2 FY23 DBCORP earnings conference call. We will begin the call by highlighting the key financial performance for the half year and quarter ended September 30th, 2022, followed by key operational updates. The past quarter witnessed robust growth in advertising, with many of the hitherto muted segments like consumer durables returning to the fold in a big way. If you recollect, we had indicated that a strong trend of resurgence in print is being witnessed, where advertisers, both large and small, are considering print to be a more trustworthy and effective medium for utilizing their advertising spends. As India's largest print media company, our editorial strength has undoubtedly helped the performance this quarter. Consolidated half-year advertising revenue grew by a strong 51% to rupees 7,181 million versus rupees 4,742 million of H1 FY 2022. Circulation revenue recorded a growth of 2% to 2,312 million against 2,265 million of previous year. Total revenue grew by 38% YOY to rupees 10,464 million against rupees 7,592 million. Various cost optimization efforts taken during the year has resulted in 55% growth of EBITDA to rupees 1,715 million versus rupees 1,105 of previous year. After considering forex loss of rupees 42 million. This is despite substantial increase in the newsprint prices, which are showing softening trend now. Consolidating PAT for the half year grew by 153% YOY to rupees 798 million versus 315 million in H1 FY 2022 after considering forex loss of rupees 48 million. In quarter 2 FY 23, advertising revenue grew by 26% to rupees 3,812 million versus rupees 3,029 million of Q2 FY22. Circulation revenue stood flat at rupees 1156 as against rupees 1159 million of Q2 FY22. Total revenue grew by 21% YOY to rupees 5,461 million against rupees 4,513 million. EBITDA stood at rupees 977 million versus rupees 1,054 million after considering forex loss of rupees 25 million, and despite high newsprint prices and its digital business investment for future growth. This was possible in large measure due to the stringent and long-term cost control measures that continue to serve us well. PAT for the quarter stood at rupees 488 million versus rupees 538 million in Q2 FY22, considering forex loss of rupees 26 million. Moving on to our digital business. The company has been steadily growing its loyal monthly active user base across all of its apps with increase of around 8 times from 2 million in January 2020 to more than 15 million in August 2022, which can be attributed to focus on ensuring high-quality content with a bespoke and highly personalized product experience. This, we believe, has helped propel Dainik Bhaskar Group in becoming the dominant digital leader with #1 Hindi and Gujarati news app players. With the dominance already established in the print format and now in the digital format, we are undoubtedly the #1 digital Indian language newspaper in the country. Coming to the radio division, in Q2 FY23, revenue grew by 18% to rupees 338 million versus rupees 287 million last year. EBITDA grew by 22% to rupees 106 million versus 87 million. EBITDA margin for the quarter stood at 31%. MyFM content continues to connect with audiences and augment listener engagement activities through innovative content creation. This has helped us get better ad rates, and we are hopeful of further improving this in the forthcoming quarters. With this, I would now request Mr. Deesh Agarwal to update us on the operations. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Pawan. Good evening, and thank you everybody for joining us. The past 6 months have been extremely news-heavy, with the ongoing geopolitical tension and inflationary pressures that have created quicker than normal responses from governments. In India, though, the economic revival continues, and this quarter, aided by the forthcoming festival season, has been extremely good. As Pawan stated earlier, we have been able to deliver very robust results, very strong Q-on-Q, as well as the YOY performances across all segments. We are hopeful that at this pace, the industry will continue from where it left off in fiscal 2020 before COVID. We continue to roll our initiatives to drive more reader acquisitions. At the same time, our editorial strength is being driven through a national campaign called Sachi Baat Dhadak. We wish to share some good news about newsprint prices softening, which is very, very important for us. Based on the current domestic and international market visibility and engagements with newsprint suppliers, we believe that the newsprint prices should see a correction of around 12 to 15%, both in Indian and imported, going forward. The impact of the same should be visible from the Q4 of FY23 in our numbers, and we expect this to continue as further softening in newsprint in short to medium term also. On our financial performance and cost optimization, as we have been pointing out over the past few quarters, our singular focus has been to ensure that our various cost-cutting measures are long-lasting. As indicated in our press release, while we are working towards increasing our revenue base, we have also managed to save approximately 10% in the operating costs with Q2 of FY2020. Resultantly, the print business EBITDA margin of Q2 FY2023 stood strong at 21% despite the high newsprint prices. This is all from our side, and my colleagues and I would be happy to respond to your questions, and thank you very much. And before we proceed further, I would like to take this opportunity to wish all of you a very, very happy Diwali going forward. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. An operator will take your name and announce your turn in the question queue. Participants are requested to only use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. We have our first question from the line of Ankit Shah from White Equity. Please go ahead.
Thank you for taking my question.
Sir, your volume is low. Can you speak louder, please?
Yes. Thank you for taking my question. Sir, can you share the newsprint prices for the quarter?
Sure. So thank you, Ankit, for this question. I think this is the most apt question in the current call. So let me give you the entire history of last 4 quarters for the newsprint. If If you remember, in the financial year 21-22, in the Q3, our newsprint prices, the purchase cost for the newsprint was roughly around 47,000 rupees per ton, which in the Q4, from Q3 to Q4, went up straight away to 53,000 around a number per ton. Then in the quarter one of FY22-23, this number went up straight away to almost 66,000. And then in Q2, it's hovering around the same price of 65.5. And as looks like that from Q4, as I indicated in my speech earlier, that we are hoping that around 10 to 15% the prices will go down going forward. So we are expecting that from this level of 66,000, these prices in the Q4 will go down below 60,000 and furthermore from there on.
All right. And what would be the newsprint average prices for our numbers?
The number as per the consumption, if I have to say, would be in the range of around 65,000 total new Indian and imported blended.
All right. So this is currently, or can you share that number for Q2, please?
Sorry, come again?
Can you share that number for Q2, please?
Yeah, the Q2 number, as I mentioned to you, that is ranging around 64,000 per ton. This is the as per consumption, while the purchase price is slightly higher in the range of around 2,000 rupees ton per more, because you buy in a particular month and you consume in the going forward months.
Right, right. So the lag between our buying and consumption would be 1 or 2 months or more?
Yeah, I would say roughly around 60 days in case of Indian, and imported is slightly more.
All right. This is good. Sir, can you share the copies in circulation for the quarter? Can you share the number for that, please?
Yeah, 42 lakh copies.
42 lakh copies. Right. And sir, one is our user, the number of active users on our apps is trending slightly lower over last, let's say, few months or so. So, how should we read into it? Can you share your perspective on the same, please?
You're talking about the app?
Yes, yes. The monthly active users on our apps, Dainik Bhaskar and Divya Bhaskar apps.
Yeah.
So there is not, we'd love to hear from you which reference are you taking, because what we are looking at is the ComScore reference for the app number. That's the number,
Yeah. So what I'm referring to is the disclosure that we've made.
Okay, from 16.5, 17 million to 10 and some million, correct?
Yes. It's a minor one, but just that, it's been a few months, so it's good to get your perspective on the same.
Yeah. See, from our perspective, the retention and the new users coming in and the churn is almost there. Now, since this difference is pretty minor, we are evaluating it to market. Some exact reason cannot be said, identified for this. But we are hoping that in the going forward months, we should be able to, get not only regain that 1 million what we lost in furthermore. But at the same time, if you look at the market, I think, though I should not be comparing this, but other news apps, they have seen a huge decline in terms of their retention. So I think from that perspective, we are in a pretty good situation.
Right. Sir, one question was on Daily Hunt. So, would you consider, Daily Hunt as a more formidable competitor for our news apps compared to the others? I mean, particularly because, we are ahead of others by quite a distance, but this is just one app which could be better than us. And also, how would our numbers compare to Daily Hunt Hindi user base? Just in case you can share some perspective on this aspect.
Frankly speaking, we don't really compare ourselves with News Hunt because they're a news aggregator. They are an app true, but they are not a direct comparison because they are not curating or correcting any kind of content. They are simply aggregator. So we really don't compare ourselves with them, and also the time spent and all is much different. I think we'll be happy to take this call offline with you to give you much more detail from that.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yes. And sir, just the last one. Can you share the other expenses trajectory for next, let's say, 2 quarters? How would the other expenses pan out over next 2 quarters?
So if you see in this quarter, the other expenses have gone up by 12.5% compared to last year, which is around 15 crores. If I give you a breakup of the 15 crores, 4 crore is the forex loss, and balance large money has gone in terms of the quantity and the increased price of the production process, which is ink, plate and all that. So if I assume that going forward this prices stays there or goes down, so I don't see any reason why the operational cost going forward should increase, except if the number of pages goes up, the production cost goes up.
Oh.
Thank you.
That's it from my end. If I have more questions, I'll join back the queue. Thank you.
Thank you. We have our next question from the line of Vagesh Kagalkar from HDFC Mutual Fund. Please go ahead.
Thanks, and congratulations on a good set of numbers, as well as the information later on issued post result also is quite comprehensive, essential. So this is coming to the page 17 of your press release, strategic areas of focus and key updates, digital strategy. So just one query here. You mentioned that your strong talent pool, continued focus on technology, as well as new areas like video news. A key issue here is, at least from what I gather from a lot of media companies, essentially, that it is quite challenging to hold on to talent pool in this, because this is a sort of a IT technology related area. So what is your view on this, sir, essentially, because this is going to be the most critical area for us for next at least 3 years to evolve into a digital company?
Very apt question on this. I think company is taking all the possible measures to ensure that we create a great place for people to operate, work in this company. They should have the creative freedom. They should have the joy of creating something, working on something. And apart from that also, we have issued ESOPs benefit to a lot of key positions in print and digital both. So I think that is also helping us to make sure that our talent stays with us.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for the answer, sir, and happy Diwali to all of you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Happy Diwali to you also.
Yeah.
We have our next question from the line of Ria from Equitas Investments. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir. Congrats on great set of advertisement numbers.
Thank you, madam.
So, like we used to see pre-pandemic level, auto used to form almost 100 odd crores for us for advertisement, and government also used to form a big pie. So what kind of auto advertisement did we see this quarter, and do we see anything going forward, since auto is reviving and there are a lot of new EV products which are coming by? So how do we see that?
I'm very thankful to you for this question, because you are comparing us on 1920, which is a pre-COVID year. In fact, in our internal, all the workings, we discuss about pre-COVID only. Because last 2 years, numbers were down and the growth percentage looks much higher. But we actually have to see how we are able to do better than pre-COVID. So let me give you the perspective of all the other categories. In terms of education, from the pre-COVID, if I have to compare the Q2, then we are on a growth. Strong double-digit growth, I would say. In terms of government advertising, we are on a decline. In response category, classifieds, we are on a growth, double-digit growth. In real estate, again, a very strong double-digit growth. Automobile is one area we are down by 50% almost, from the pre-COVID level. Because in last 2 years' time, if you notice, all the automobile companies are facing the supply issues, and hence they are not coming up with new launches. So this is one category which has declined by almost 50% on our pre-COVID numbers. In FMCG also, there is a decline of around 15 to 18% actually in FMCG pre-COVID. And I'm giving you all these numbers pre-COVID. While if you look at the jewelry, again a very strong, almost 100% growth in jewelry category from the pre-COVID level. hospitals, clinics, healthcare, they all are growing. Lifestyle is another category which is at a 20% decline, 24% decline to be precise, on a pre-COVID number. So now, what we are working in the market, that once the automobile issues are sorted out for the supply, this decline should turn into the growth. So that will be a big upside for us. As well as the lifestyle category, which is largely concentrating about the apparels, that need to come back in terms of sales and advertising. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah. So I was actually asking from the EV point of view that are we seeing any ads, because a lot of companies are coming with a lot of new launches in auto. So in Q3, do we see on the start because of Diwali and Dussehra and all?
Yeah, there is some kind of some advertising coming from EV, but certainly it is not taking care of those double spread and full pages and jackets of our four-wheelers. So let's hope they get their issue sorted out fast and come back to the market with us.
And out of all these categories, what will be the highest margin accretive category for us?
Margin, when you say, I couldn't see the margin?
Yields, like advertisement yields, basically.
Oh, yield-wise. I think they all are same, education and real estate and automobile. I would say real estate, education would and jewelry would have a higher yield because they all are the front page advertising.
Okay. And what are the cover prices right now, and have we taken any hikes or planning any hikes?
So our cover price for this quarter is 4.77 rupees. There's an increase of around 3% over the last year.
Okay, and are we planning any increase further to combat the increase?
I don't think, since the newsprint prices are going to go down furthermore in the next quarter, so we should not be increasing any price.
Okay. And for Q3, basically, we will see some demand coming from Diwali and e-com players. How is the advertisement for the October month so far?
So we are sitting at a decent double-digit growth, I would say, for the festival, and the market is looking very. So we are hopeful that we should continue this double-digit growth.
This is pre-pandemic levels?
Yes, we compare ourselves with pre-pandemic only in our internal working.
Okay. So October we are up till for the last 19 days we are seeing double-digit growth. Okay.
Yeah. Even September was good.
Okay. And from the digital space, so actually what I was aware is that we give numbers for the app basically. And there is, I just went through the Comstar subscription and I figured that there is something called as website numbers also. And the total unique visitors for our nearest competitor or the regional players like Jagran and all is around 1 lakh, and we are sitting at around 50,000. So how would you justify this, or what would be your inputs for this? So basically this is total internet audience, which majorly comes from website. So
we don't look at the numbers coming from the total internet audiences, because for most of the publishers, the challenge, as we've been saying in the past, is that those numbers come from aggregators, from people like Daily Hunt, from Facebook, from search, from random websites, from people who pick up your headline, paste it on their website. So these are not your users. They come from, they come once in a month, maybe once in a 6 months, but they show up in your numbers. And those are not the numbers, which can be monetized for significant advertising, because those users you can target easily on those platforms itself for advertising. And subscription, of course, these numbers don't matter at all. So we start looking at these numbers.
Jagran and all, I think they've already monetized their digital and they're doing quite good. So despite not having good app-based numbers and just having internet-based numbers.
Yeah.
So
our focus is all about the app. So that's the reason we don't, if you notice in last many years, we don't even discuss about our web number, because the app is the one where I have a relationship with a person. He downloads my app, look up at the app every day, alternate day, and I have an ongoing relationship with him. So we really don't consider web. We are looking at app, and the app number are in front of you. And we are, we have a long way to go further there also.
So our focus would continue to be on the app and not on the web base, is what I understand.
The iota of doubt.
Okay. And what would be, so I was just checking out our web pages. So we have something called as premium plan. So have we started monetizing or how is it?
Yeah, we are working on some experiments right now, and it looks like that you've been one of those part of my experiment. Otherwise, you would have not come to know about the premium one. So we are doing some experiments at a select audience, and hopefully in next 2-3 quarters, we should have some results to come and disclose it to you.
So we started monetizing the subscription. Is that what?
No, we have not started monetizing. We have started experimenting.
Okay. So basically, only for select geographies you started.
Something like that.
Okay. Okay. And we would want like this kind of plan would be there for the overall geography.
Something like that.
Kind of range. Okay. And I was just going through the annual report. There were some whistleblower issues. So could you elaborate on that?
Could you?
Ms. Ria, I request you to come back in the queue.
Sure.
Thank you. We have our next question from the line of Dharmesh Sanghvi from DS Associate. Please go ahead.
But 1 second, I think Ms. Ria raised a question about the whistleblower mechanism. I would like to answer that. Once Ms. Ria come back, please explain me that question. I would like to answer that. Yeah, you can take the next question in the meantime.
Yes, Mr. Sanghvi, please go ahead.
Sure. Good evening.
Yes, Mr. Sanghvi.
Hello. Yeah. So my first question is with regards to the radio. We can see that the advertising revenue has grown by 18% over previous year.
Yes, sir.
So could you please help us with the top sectors that have contributed to it?
Sorry, can you repeat that? I missed the last point.
So can you help us with the sectors that have contributed to this 18% growth over previous year?
So we had a low base last year. Again, we don't look at last year's base. We look at 19-20 base. And on a 19-20 base, compared to last year, we grew by 17%. But on a 19-20 base, we've grown by about 6%. So we look at 19-20 as a base for all revenue growth internally.
Okay. Now my second question is with regards to the print business. Now
your voice is slightly echoing. We are not able to hear that properly.
Am I audible now?
On the handset.
Sure. Is it better now?
Yes.
Okay. So now my next question is with regards to the print business. We can see that the ad revenue for print business and allied business has surpassed Q2 FY20 levels. So what has contributed to it? And also, there has been no mention of it anywhere in the results.
So the education category is growing, response category is growing, real estate is booming, jewelry is at huge 100%, almost 100% growth, healthcare, hospitals are growing, except automobile, FMCG and lifestyle, every other category is contributing in the growth.
Okay. But, what has contributed, Mike? Is it because the print is something that we've grown or is it the other businesses that have grown?
Sorry, sir, your voice is echoing. What exactly are you saying?
I'm saying the print and allied business, we can see that has mentioned as 348 crore for the current quarter. All right?
Yeah.
And believe it has surpassed, we've surpassed quarter 2 FY20. All right?
Yeah.
So, what has contributed? Not the verticals, but which business has contributed? Have we done well in print?
Newspaper is growing as well as the radio. Both are growing, sir.
Okay. No, my question is with regards to print and other business advertisement. Is it because we are earning more in digital now?
No. Digital, we don't have any revenue because we don't take much advertising on digital. Entire growth is coming from print and radio. And other businesses are very minor businesses, which is some printing jobs and all that.
Okay. Also, one last thing. Could you please help us with the print EBITDA? We believe the margin was said earlier to be 21%. But what is the exact number if you can have it? Because this time we've not mentioned it anywhere in the results.
So EBITDA margin on the console level this quarter is at 18%.
Correct.
And do you have print margin right now with you?
Print margin.
And the print margin, I think, is at
Print margin
21%. Almost same, sir.
21%. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Instead of 18%, print margin is 21%, and the console margin is 18%.
That's right. Okay. Oh, got it. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a question from Ms. Ria from Equitas Investments. Please go ahead.
Yes, Ms. Ria, you were talking about some whistleblower in the numbers.
Yeah, annual report. So basically, there was mentioned that there was some whistleblower complaints during the year. So if you could just elaborate that, what is it about? And
Yes, sure. So what happened? We have a strong whistleblower mechanism in our system. There, people can let us know if they feel there's anything going wrong in anywhere, and we keep getting these complaints from the whistleblowers, and we have a proper committee, proper team, those who look into each and every such complaint. And once the complaint is found substantial, our team goes to the ground, because we are spread in 12 states in India, huge geography, and they go and investigate and find out. So these complaints pertains to some misbehavior by any team member, or it could be by somebody trying to give the wrong numbers to any particular client. So for example, if a client says, I booked an advertisement for X rupees, while I came to know I should have been given this benefit which I was not being given. So I want to know whether the benefit has been passed on by the company properly or not. So all these such kind of complaints, some internal issues also come in that whistleblower. So we have a proper team who investigate, and it does help us a lot to keep a check in the entire system.
okay, is there any place where we can actually read about these, what all issues are there, or
these are more internal thing which has been brought out to our notice, and if there are any issues which are concerning the SEBI guidelines, then certainly we publish that and and the annual report.
Okay. And my second question would be in regards to the receivables. So we have a huge receivable on our books. So where is this coming from?
So these, as you know, in our system, we allow a 60 to 90 days credit to the ad agency, those who give the regular business to us. And for the government, generally, it goes on to a couple of years also. For example, the state government of Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Bihar, central government and all that, they don't make payment on time. So we allow them a certain time. And as per the audit procedure, we also do the scrutiny and provide for them if at all the payment is in a particular age. So I think all that norms are really followed very rigorously.
Okay. And for the government ad revenue, what kind of ad revenue would be there from government for this quarter?
So this quarter government ad revenue is, is roughly around, around 60 crore rupees is the total advertising from the government, which includes the state government, local government, panchayat and everything. And going forward, this number will further improve, because now in most of these states, the government visibility is good.
Okay. So are we planning it to go back to the whatever we used to have before, almost 80 to 100 crores, if I'm right?
Yeah. Actually speaking, we don't put any target on the government advertising number.
Right.
Because, you can't go and convince the government to advertise, because they are not a response-driven advertising. So we cannot put a target on the government. It all depends on their policies, what do they want to inform to their readers and all that, to our readers. So that's the reason we don't have any drive for asking government to advertise more. Whatever they feel is right for their purpose, we carry those ads.
Right. My second question would be on regards to the expenses. So basically, as you said that in versus Q2 FY20, we have saved around 10% of operating expenses. So do we see this to sustain, or this to come back a little on Q3, Q4 basis?
So our expenses are all under control. Only the number goes up and down depending on the number of pages of the production and the total copies to be printed, or if the prices of those items goes up in the market.
Okay. And so basically I was just tracking the newspaper cost, so it had reached up to 75,000. So do we see that kind of numbers coming in Q3 for us?
I think you missed out that answer, which I gave a lengthy answer to the gentleman who asked the question. I gave out every quarter prices to him and how it's going down. And going forward, we are expecting a correction of around 10 to 15% in the Q4 onwards.
Yeah, but in Q3, I think we would have high cost inventory of around 70,000.
Q3 would be the same as Q2, I would say. Largely.
Okay.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
I will get back to come back in the queue. Thank you. We have our next question from the line of VP Rajesh from Banyan Capital Advisors. Please go ahead. Mr. Rajesh, please unmute your line. There is no response from Mr. Rajesh's line. Reminder to participants to press star and 1 to ask a question. We have a question from the line of Pranav Shenoy from O3 Securities. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir.
We have a question from the line of Madhura Nancy from O3
आप
Securities.
जिस व्यक्ति से बात कर रहे हैं उसने आप
Sorry. We have a question from the line of Ravi Goenka from O3 Securities. Please go ahead.
Hi. Thank you for the opportunity, sir.
Yes, sir.
My first question is, we are building a product for which we want consumer to pay, especially in digital. We have reached in this journey over the last 3 years. What insight have we got about the consumer and how has the product evolved?
So I think in the last 3 years, product has evolved in a big way. And the numbers are there to show that from a mere base of couple of lakhs, today we are at 15 million. In 3 years' time, there are 8 times growth. So I think that clearly indicates that our experiments with the product and the traction from the consumer been fantastic.
Okay. And we paid last year around 19 CR and 5 CR to business side of digitals. There some one-off can you tell, have we reached the peak of investment in the digital space? And what would be the expense per year in digital business?
So, sir, if you remember a couple of quarters back, I took the permission from all of you that allow us not to disclose any specific number on digital to looking at the competition around. And at the appropriate time, we'll come back to you with the details. So may I request the same this time also with you?
Okay. And we have seen some players come up with good content, but paid like print, etc., but are not able to get lot of paid subscription. What are the learning from that, and what changes are we bringing?
Sir, we have not yet started the paid exercise, so it will not be right to say that we have not got successful in the paid. Right now, the app is free. People are using it. We have got the huge response, number of people using it, and the time they give it to us. And going forward, this is further going to grow, and we are looking at monetization going forward.
Okay. And my last question is, in terms of our digital customer, can you give insight on the mean and median age profile, education level, gender and location, etc.? What are their expectations from the product?
As I requested you, sir, that all this information we are not disclosing right now because of the competition. Allow us some time for the appropriate working and come back to you.
Okay. I will join in queue for my.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to ensure the management is able to answer all queries, kindly restrict your questions to 2 at a time. We have a question from the line of VP Rajesh from Banyan Capital Advisors. Please go ahead.
Yes. Hello, and congratulations for this set of numbers here. I have a question regarding the trade-off between the volume and pricing, both on print and radio terms. So, how has been the progress as compared to the previous quarter on the pricing side and on the volume side also, as compared to the pre-pandemic levels?
Right now, the entire focus is to grow the volume, and that's the reason our volume is slightly higher than the pre-pandemic level now. So that is a positive indication, and that is the number is showing in the growth also. As far as the yield is concerned, we have taken yield up in certain categories, but nothing worthwhile to really mention. But one yield improvement has happened, that people, those who used to advertise in side pages, we've been able to motivate them to come onto the front page and jacket and all that, and that's how the yield has further improved on that. And I guess the same remains with radio, that they are also filling in the quantum right now, so that they are able to do the quantum, and at the same time radio, because the quantum is limited, so they are also working on the yield improvement there.
Okay. So when you say that volume is higher than the pre-pandemic level, what does the pagination has improved than as compared to pre-COVID level? Does that mean that?
If I see the same pagination of pre-COVID level, then my volume is up by around 3%.
So basically the news content is lower and the ad volume is higher, because the number of pages remains the same.
Look at the number of centimeter published by me in terms of advertisement pre-COVID and this time. So we say there's a 3% growth on that.
Understood. And on one more thing, regarding the government rates on advertisements, is there any thought process on increasing the rates on the government ads? Because it's been, I think, 2 years now, government hasn't increased rates. So anything due on various state governments?
We have a body called Indian Newspaper Society, which represent all the interests of all the newspaper organization in the country with the various governments. They've been pursuing the government for the rate increase. Unfortunately, till now, we have not got any ears from the government on that. But I'm sure going forward, the government will certainly consider the plight of the industry and give us some relief on the advertising rates.
Fair enough. And my last question is on the most recent, just one question if I can flip in. On the radio business, policy decisions with government introduced a couple of days ago. Are you guys thinking about M&A when the 15% cap has been removed?
So we cannot really comment on behalf of the government. Once they decide something, it will be out in public for all of us.
It's already been done by the cabinet.
So there has been something out, sir. We are evaluating it, nothing concrete yet. But as certainly, as we have maintained in the past, we don't want to go to metro stations. Our strength and our profitability is primarily driven from the fact that we are in tier 2, tier 3 markets.
That's helpful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We have our next question from the line of Amit Khetan from Laburnum Capital. Please go ahead.
Hi, thank you for the opportunity. Just one question from my side. So you mentioned that government revenues visibility is good, and we faced some challenges over the last 2 years with regard to government advertising. So is it fair to assume that those issues have been resolved?
Yes, looks like.
Got it. And relative to pre-COVID levels, where would government revenues be today?
Slightly down, but hopefully going forward should show some improvement.
Understood. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. We have our next question from the line of Pranay Khandelwal from Alpha Invesco. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
I wanted to ask if we are ever planning to launch an English edition of a newspaper or something like that.
No, sir. We have no plan to launch any new language now.
Okay. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have our next question from the line of Mohan Kulapi, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hello. Congrats on the good set of numbers to start with.
Thank you, sir.
I'm just trying to check what is the monetization plan of the digital, not only from a subscription standpoint, but also from an advertisement standpoint on the app.
So, sir, on the app, advertising, we want to hold for a while. Idea is to give an amazing experience to a reader, because we have been hearing from a lot of readers that when they open up any app, the ads become very intrusive. They are on your face, and you don't like that. So we want to create a great experience for the reader. That's the reason we have not opened up the advertising on the app. And as for the subscription is concerned, We are working on it, doing some experiments here and there, and going forward, we should have some news for you on that.
So can we assume safely 6 months to 1 year?
I'm sure that something will happen in 6 months. We'll update you on that.
Okay. One last question before I conclude. So there is a case related to the Competition Commission of India against Google related to sharing the revenues to the news providers.
Yes, sir.
Do we have any update? Unfortunately, I know it's not an exact question related to the organization, but in general. But
I should answer you that. So the Digital Newspaper Associations and as well as Indian Newspaper Society have filed a complaint against Google with the Competition Commission of India. And Competition Commission of India has recently merged all these complaints into one because there were 2-3 such complaints against Google. And they are investigating the entire thing. And I'm sure soon they will come out with some kind of findings and a relief for all of us.
There is revenue sharing in Europe, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All the very best.
Thank you, sir, and happy Diwali.
Happy Diwali. Yeah. Same to you, sir.
Thank you. We have our next question from the line of Pawan Nahar, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. First, I wanted to ask you, how much is the net cash on our balance sheet as of now?
So roughly around 470 crore rupees is the net cash and bank balance in the books.
Okay, thank you.
Zero debt.
Sorry?
Zero debt. No debt.
Zero debt. 470 crores cash. Okay. Then second, I'm looking at the balance sheet. We've got right of use assets of round figure 430 crores. Now, against this, I mean, basically it is capitalizing of rentals, annual rentals.
Yes, sir.
So what is the annual rental we have?
Can we come back to you, sir, on this? We don't have exact number on the table right now with us.
Okay, so should I expect a call or an email on this?
The Prasun Pandey from our investor relationship will get in touch with you, sir.
Second, okay, thank you. Third, I wanted to ask, you made a comment that by Q4 you see the newsprint prices coming down by 10 to 12%.
Yes, sir.
Right? I really wish that happens sooner or then. And what gives you the confidence? Have you struck any deals that are, what gives you that confidence it is coming down?
I think, sir, you are bang on. We've been talking to the people on a practically everyday basis. Our procurement team does it day in and day out on this. And based on our discussions, based on our negotiations happening with them, that's the confidence we have got.
Got it. Great. And you said that government advertisement is back across the board, center, all states? Right?
Yes, sir, largely.
Largely, yeah? Or there are still pockets where we are not, we are having an issue?
Largely it has come back, but see, it's difficult to predict about any particular government or a particular market.
Yeah, but then those past issues are resolved where it was a blanket.
Largely resolved. I'm saying, how the governments are. So one should always take things with a pinch of salt.
Fair point. And one last question from me. You had a great December 19. Okay? I mean, pre-COVID, 600 crores revenues. Now, do you see us growing double digit on that number?
Sir, right now we are focused on the Q.
You've done flat versus September 19 or a marginal 1% growth.
Yeah.
Right. So, and you said that the festival season has been good. September was good. So I'm just asking, do you see?
Our efforts are certainly on that, and we are pretty confident that we should be able to, achieve the expectations of our stakeholders. But having said that, there are multiple issues in the market. As of now, the festival season is good. I hope they should continue going forward. Let's see how it goes, sir.
Thank you so much. And I really hope you'll continue this trend of reporting within 3 weeks of the quarter. This is amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate your confidence.
Thank you. We have our next question from the line of Dharmesh Sanghvi from DS Associates. Please go ahead.
Yeah, sir, thank you for giving the opportunity again. And the follow-up to the previous question, Sir, on the circulation copy, we had a peak copy of 56 lakh and now we are at 43 lakh. So we are at 75% roughly. So any chances of these copies now going up, or this is now the established base?
I would say, sir, that 56 lakh copies base, we've been also evaluating that. We ran a major scheme just before that. So I think we got a big flip because of that. Suddenly we lost some copies because of COVID. Also in last 1 year's time, we have increased the cover price. In last 2 years' time, we increased the cover price also. And so I think considering all this, are we happy with the current number? We are not. But idea is that how fast and how far we can reach, that's the whole thing we are working on. So let's see. We are, for example, at 42, 43 lakh copies. Idea is that how can we first cross the 45 lakh benchmark and then go on from there.
Right. But on similar terms, your ad revenue has crossed the pre-COVID, 104% you mentioned.
Yes,
so that is on back of volumes coming back, or pricing also improved?
Largely volume.
Or you have been saying that, print includes digital also revenue. So
we don't take digital advertising, so it's largely on the volume, sir.
It's all on the volume. And you expect the same trend to continue?
Yes, sir. That's what the team is working on.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, due to time constraints, that was the last question. I now hand the conference over to the management for closing comments. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, everyone, for your participation and time on this earnings call today. I hope we responded to your queries that were raised today, and we'll always be happy to be of assistance through our Investor Relations Department headed by Mr. Prasoon Kumar Pandey for all your further queries. Take care, everyone, and stay safe. We wish all of you a very, very happy Diwali and a prosperous New Year. Thank you, and have a great evening.
Happy Diwali to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. On behalf of DBCORP Limited, that concludes this conference call. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your line.